Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well today. It's Monday already. The weeks and time is flying by, and it's pretty crazy. My name is Jackie Schwab. I am your reluctant ringmaster, and I'm here today on the Caregiving Circus to have a little chat with you. I learned some really thought-provoking things over the weekend, and I really wanted to share them with all of you and see if I can get some of your guys' perspective as well. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, replay users. Super happy to have you on board and here visiting. And why don't you put where you're from in the comments when you come visit, and we can say hi to y'all when you come back. So how do you show up in your life? And that may sound like kind of a weird question to ask, but how do you show up and do the things that you do? And the reason I ask is the way you do one thing in your life is probably how you're showing up in the rest of it. And that's also like when people judge you for maybe you got in trouble for something, and everybody in your friend circle knows about it. Well, now in a totally unrelated issue, they're like, we can't work with that guy because we can't talk to that gal about that thing because of that thing she did a long time ago. So that's what we mean by like how you show up in one part of your life is how you show up in every other part of your life. And why do you care, and how does that affect you, and what do I mean? So one of the things I like about me, or I've always talked about me, is that I'm very organized, and I like being organized, and I like that other people would think that I was organized, right? So if I look around my life and say, as it relates to my health, am I organized? Probably not so much. As it relates to my children's activities and scheduling that, am I organized? Okay, maybe not. So am I really organized? I don't know, right? Maybe not so much. I look around my desk, it's not quite as organized as I would like it to be. So if we start looking at how we're showing up in a different areas of our life, we can sort of see how it's propagating into other parts of our life. And so there's good news with this realization, though. The good news is you only need to really change one thing then, right? You only need to change and make a habit change in one of those areas, and it will propagate itself throughout the rest of those areas. So I always talk to you guys about self-care and making sure that you're healthy and you're able to show up in your relationship and your caregiving journey, because it's difficult and there are going to be a lot of things coming up. And that is absolutely true. So one of the things that we can think about is like when we're super overwhelmed and there's so many things hitting us and there's so much to do, instead of trying to resolve all of that at once, because we know it's not possible, right? We can resolve perhaps one thing, and that one thing can then kind of permeate into other places of our lives. And so I thought it'd be great to give you guys, not great, but maybe accountability partners. All of you are my partners in crime, okay? Give you some accountability partner steps. One of the things that I unfortunately has been a struggle for me is consistency, doing the same thing and repeatedly doing the same thing, because we all know positive habits compound on one another and they create positive change. And I thought, but I'm really consistent. I show up and do lives. I show up and do this. I show up to parties. I do these things. But I'm not. I'm more of a batch processor. I think I'm living my life in big, giant chunks. I work really, really hard on something and I super hyper focus on it. And then everything else in my life kind of falls around to the edges. And it's not really a great, healthy place to be, especially if you're in a caregiving situation. So if my daughter needs something specifically, if it's work-related, school-related, whatever, I like stop everything and I just build her all these materials and all of these cards and all of this stuff. And I call every doctor and every lawyer and everyone I can possibly think of, and I'm like hyper-focused on that. And then my business stuffers and my other children feel left out. My husband feels left out. So, and so essentially knowing it is the first step, right? So I'm a batch processor. There's got to be a step program for me. But if I can just change one area, right? And for me, it's been trying to get on here every day at 9 a.m. and talk to all you kind folks. But if I change one area, I think it can flow into the rest. So we'll all be watching on this together and see how it goes. Let me know what you think how you think you're showing up in your life, and one thing that you'd like to change. And hopefully it's related to taking better care of you, but it doesn't have to be, because it just needs to be some way you want to show up better in your life. Hopefully this was helpful. Thanks for joining me. My name is Jackie Schwab. I am your reluctant ringmaster for the Caregiving Circus, here on Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, most days, but hopefully more often. All right, see you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.